Hi guys, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly and welcome to this Rory McIlroy What's in the Bag 2019 video in which we're going to take an in-depth look at all of the golf clubs in Rory's bag at the beginning of 2019 from driver all the way through to putter. We're also going to hear from the man himself talking about how he has his irons and his wedges set up as well. Guys, if you're new to the Golf Monthly channel, please do hit the subscribe button. If you like what you're watching, give us a like and comment below. We'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. But let's take a look at the golf clubs in Rory's bag, starting with his driver. Okay, so starting with the driver, and Rory is carrying the TaylorMade M5 for 2019. He has a 9-degree head and he has a Mitsubishi white 70 gram X-Flex shaft in there. Now what's interesting about his driver setup this year has been the way in which he's changed the weights in the back of the head. He has the weights in the head in the way that I've got them in this position here. So he actually has them in a slightly higher spin setup, favouring a draw. Now that's a change from last year. When I interviewed Rory at the beginning of 2018, he just put the TaylorMade M3 in the bag and he had both of these weights here in the central track pushed right to the front of the head. That's in the sort of max low spin setting. That's really designed for the very fastest swingers to get the very best distance, ball flight for their game. But through the course of the season, Rory actually moved the weights into the position that you can see here, a sort of a split track weight to give him a little bit more spin. And I guess a little bit more forgiveness as well in his game. And now we see him favouring the draw bias. Now, one thing I did want to point out with Rory's driver is just how many drivers he's had over the years since he's been a professional. When Rory first came out on tour, he was sponsored by Titleist. He had their 907 driver. I think he had their 905 driver before that, 907. He had their 910 driver. Then in 2013, Rory signed for Nike and he had a whole host of different Nike drivers over the year. And then in 2016, Nike obviously came out of golf equipment and Rory became a free agent for a period of time. Firstly, he put the TaylorMade M2 in the bag. Then he switched and put the Callaway Epic in the bag. And then he moved back to TaylorMade, and in May of 2017 he signed with TaylorMade. So he has a full bag of TaylorMade golf clubs in now. The point here is that despite having so many different drivers in the bag over the years, Rory's driving has just simply got better and better and better. So in 2010 Rory was averaging just over 300 yards off the tee and around about 60% of fairways hit. Now, this year on the PGA Tour, Rory is averaging 312 yards off the tee at 59% of fairways hit. Those are really staggering numbers, and of course Rory is ranked #1 for strokes gained driving. He is the best driver in the game right now. The question I have for you is Rory McIlroy the best driver of the golf ball of all time, ever? I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. I think there's a really good case to be made that he is. Moving on to his fairway woods, and Rory carries both a 3-wood and a 5-wood, although he doesn't always have them in the bag at the same time. The 3-wood that he carries is the TaylorMade M6. This is TaylorMade's non-adjustable wood option at the top end of the bag. He has that in a 15-degree setup with a Mitsubishi white 80 gram X-Flex shaft. Then he also carries a 5-wood, which is the TaylorMade M5, and he has that with a Mitsubishi 90 gram white X-Flex shaft in it. Now, what's interesting is that Rory has gone for the M5 in the 5-wood, and the M5 is adjustable, as you can see here. You can set the M5 up to help you hit draws or to help you hit fades. And I would be surprised if we didn't see Rory move that into the draw position ready for Augusta. Augusta is one of those golf courses that requires players to hit a lot of sort of high slinging draws. And for Rory, a 5-wood that is really setting up to help him hit that shot might be something he goes for. It's something he mentioned to me when I interviewed him at the beginning of 2018 about his bag setup. So keep an eye out for that. It wouldn't surprise me to see him move it into the draw bias position to help him with the challenge specifically of Augusta. Now, moving into the irons, we're going to hear from Rory himself. Rory hasn't actually changed his iron setup for 2019, so from 2-iron all the way through the bag from there. Let's hear from Rory himself.
Yeah, so P7 92 iron, it's 18 degrees. And yeah, it's either, so again, I've traditionally carried a 5-wood, and then if I needed to, I'd carry a 2-iron. And it's almost like the other way around now. I carry this P7 92 iron, and if I need a 5-wood, I'll have it with me. And if I need and the course, if I need to flight something really high in the air to land it soft in some of the par 5s. But So yeah, P7 92 iron. It carries about. It's a great club off the tee if you just need to find a fairway. It carries about 260, 265, runs out to 285. It's a good club to have in the bag. So great off the tee, really good flight, great in the wind. So it's been a really good addition. It's a bit of a combo, yeah. So 3 and 4 iron are the P750s. Like everyone needs a little bit of help. They're just a tiny bit more forgiving than the protos, just a little bit. They launch a little bit higher, which I like as well. So again, just having that little bit of a higher launch, just going into the par fives and some of the courses that we play, they've helped a lot. They've actually been. I always shied away from combo sets before, but they've been a really good addition. And then from 5 iron through to 9 iron, it's the Roars Protos or the P730s, basically the same thing. So I've had these in the bag and love them. I mean, they're a very traditional blade, great feeling, great sounding, very consistent. So they've been really, really good. And then I sort of went away from carrying a set pitching wedge for. I've used like a wedge, pitching wedge, for quite a while now. So I go to 48 degree, or 47 actually. It's a degree stronger than that. And then depending again on the course, I carry a 52 and a 56 degree with me in the mill grind. Depending on the course, but usually this is the setup I've been going with the last few weeks, where it's a pitching wedge, a 54 degree, and then the 60 in the high toe.
So it's really interesting to hear from Rory himself about his iron and wedge setup, and what was quite revealing was that when Rory turned up for that interview, he was between tournaments, and in his golf bag he had about 7 or 8 different wedges, and it goes to show that these guys, they do have a lot of options in at the bottom end of the bag, and as they prepare themselves for a tournament week, they will decide exactly which one of their sort of big squad of wedges they actually want to carry, and the rest of them they'll leave behind in the locker. Anyway, moving on to putter, and Rory has put in TaylorMade's new Spider X model for 2019. It has that sort of copper finish that you'll note from it. It's designed to be super forgiving, very, very high MOI, really good resistance to twisting, and it seems to be making a really big difference to Rory's game. So in 2018, Rory was ranked 90th for strokes gained putting. Already so far this season, he's now ranked 56th. And the difference between 90th and 56th seems to be making a huge difference to his overall scoring potential. And that's why I think the results have really started to come in for Rory. Now, a couple of other things to note about this putter. Firstly, take a look at the shaft. This is a KBS shaft that has been designed with putting very much in mind. It has a matte black finish and it's stepless, so it doesn't have those steps in it that you would expect to see in a putter shaft. Really, it's just designed to offer players as much consistency as possible, and you'll see quite a few of the other TaylorMade players using that particular shaft in the Spider X head. The other thing to note about it is the True Path alignment aid on the top of the club head should make it really easy to align down behind the ball. It's something that Rory has spoken about as being something that's really helped his game. And finally, Rory's golf ball. He is carrying the 2019 TaylorMade TP5. So halfway through 2018, Rory switched from the TP5X to the TP5, and as TaylorMade brought out their latest iteration of that golf ball at the beginning of 2019, he moved into the latest version of the TP5. Now, there are a couple of interesting things to note about that. Firstly, the TP5 is a slightly lower launching golf ball, and I think that there's half a chance perhaps the TP5 allows Rory to have a slightly higher spin driver setup. The other thing to notice about the TP5 is that it's more workable golf ball than the TP5X, and Rory is definitely one of these players that likes to shape pretty much every shot that he hits. Little fades, little draws, definitely working the ball off the tee and into the greens is one of Rory's biggest strengths, and perhaps the TP5 allows Rory to play to his strengths that little bit better than the TP5X. Guys, there you have it. That is Rory McIlroy's What's in the Bag lineup for 2019. Everything from driver through to golf ball. What do you think? Please do leave comments below. We'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss any of our videos, from equipment all the way through to tour player related content. You won't miss a thing if you hit the subscribe button. If you've liked what you've seen, give us a like. But for now, from the London Club, it's goodbye.